What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the Developing Dad podcast. It has been a while. What is up? All right. So we have some people popping in, right? Does MVP equals mentally volatile personality? I don't know. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that. All right. We're going to talk about that. I want to bring a different perspective to what Candace Owens is doing. I don't think anyone else has. I've been listening and paying attention and watching what Candace has been doing. And thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you to everybody that is still rolling with the podcast after the long break. I got a family. I'm developing dad first. I'm a dad first podcaster, like 9th or 10th. So when the kids start doing things and get heavy into music, we got to go. All right. But I'm going to talk about this Candace Owens thing from a different perspective. And there's a list. You see the list down there? The list of people that I think Candace Owens is helping us to expose. Now, whether you believe Candace or not, that's not the point of this episode. I can give you my thoughts on whether or not I believe some of the claims that she's making. But I don't think that's ultimately what her greatest achievement is. Like exposing those who have a hand in Charlie Kirk's assassination. I don't think that's the greatest thing that she's accomplishing. And I'm calling her the MVP. I'm saying, is she the world's MVP? The most valuable person in the world right now. Why do I say that? I think I'm going to make the argument that she is. And I'm not even going to use the fact that she has the #1 podcast in the world. That doesn't mean you're the most important person in the world. But what I think Candace Owens is doing is so amazing for the American people is that she's highlighting and exposing this list down here. That's the thing that she is, maybe intentionally or unintentionally. I think that she's being used by God, I think, to expose these groups of people. Now we're going to go through the list of people, and I want you to push back. I want you to tell me whether or not I'm crazy. Okay. Now, obviously, I don't think Candace Owens is alone in exposing Zionists, but I believe that she is critical. Hello, Indonesia. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you, Indonesia. Long-time subscriber. Love to see my long-time subscribers here. Thank you for tuning in on this blessed Sunday. Now, Candace Owens, is she the world's MVP? That's the argument that I'm making. The most valuable person. I'm saying yes, because she's helping to expose these groups. I'm coming at this from a different perspective. She is exposing Zionists. They are coming out of the woodwork to condemn Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, etc., etc. But specifically Tucker and Candace. Okay? Let's listen. We're going to listen to some. Oh, yeah. This guy. Well, I'm going to use him, but I'll use another one. Hold on one second. Here we go. We're starting off, right? This is.
Oh.
Listen in.
I don't even know where to start on this. So, TPUSA Faith. I am so disappointed in you, and I never thought I'd be saying those words. But you recently had a pastor speak at one of your events, and the first things he says, he doesn't start out with anything biblical. He goes, Candace Owens is a anti-Semitic. you can't like hurt anyone's feelings by calling them this or that anymore. It's so overplayed, and I'm just done with it. This new generation, I give them so much credit because they are thinking the same thing I'm thinking, which is all these people are paid off. Like, you can't convince them otherwise. There's no going back. No pastor, no nothing is going to convince this newer generation. It's just, it's done. I don't even know where.
Yes, Steve. Yes, that's it. She's shaking, right? The bird cages, right? You've got. I mean, this guy here. He is. What is his name? Reverend Jordan Wells, right? Reverend Jordan Wells. He's just.
And the truth is, Candace is playing y'all. Candace Owens is playing y'all. She will not debate. And people, why you keep talking about Candace? Why does she keep talking about Charlie? I love Charlie.
Not as
I'm
much
gonna
as
keep
her.
talking about Candace because Candace keeps talking about Charlie and his wife. I love me some Erica Kirk. I love her. I think she's the most radiant Esther of our time. And she ain't gonna fight for herself. So us, real Christians that see the God in her, we gotta defend her. Cause I'm a little more of a, she ain't a fighter like that. Not that type of fighter online and all that. She letting God fight for her. Well, we gonna be God's hands. And we gonna fight against this woman who's become a witch, Candace Owens. I don't care who likes it, who is using her manipulation and spells to attack people without attacking them. She might not come straight out and say Erica Kirk did this, but she implies it. Why would Erica do this? I have released videos of her doing it all over the internet, of her doing it to different turning points there. Why did I say that Candace is playing y'all? Because Candace she knows how to suck the air out of any room with her conspiracies, right? She couldn't even wait for Charlie Kirk to die. It wasn't even, I think, a week. We didn't even have time to grieve Charlie's death. She literally made it all about her and her conspiracies. That is the moment. I was not speaking every day against Candace Owens. That was the day I was like, I'm done with her. When she took a moment where we literally, and her podcast wasn't number one at this time, right? She took that moment where the nation was grieving and people were trying to process. That's why so many people believe her Charlie Kirk lie, because people don't want to acknowledge that the left is as crazy as they are. They don't want to accept the fact that there are literal people living next door to us that want to kill us. So it's easy.
So again, I'm gonna let him finish, but it wasn't like Candace just started podcasting the week that Charlie died. He's acting as though Candace didn't already have 4+ million subscribers at the time of Charlie's death. She may not have been number one. What was she, number 4? Okay. What does that have to do with anything? The series on Becoming Brigitte was already world renowned. She was a well-known podcaster prior to that. The PragerU, Daily Wire, TPUSA, etc., etc., etc. Here's the funny thing. I never even listened to Candace Owens before the Becoming Brigitte series. She wasn't my cup of tea. But I'm paying attention to this now. What changed about Candace Owens that made me more apt to listen to her? Well, I'll tell you what it is. She started to see the world the same way that I see it. And she has a bigger platform. Now, if someone like me who had 13,000 subscribers at the time of Charlie's death, and then I shot up to number 1 talking about it, then yeah, you'd have a gripe. But Candace Owens, it was one of Charlie Kirk's closest friends, went on the road with him, toured with him, helped to launch TPUSA with him. She is well within her right to want to get to the bottom of her friend's assassination. This guy's putting himself in the place. It's almost as if they were reversed in their closeness to Charlie, where he's really close to him and she's just a random preacher on the internet who was a fan. Pay attention to these lies. Right. This is right. This is, where's the this guy, if you look at his page, if you go to his page today. Yeah. I was verified. I just don't care. Right. This guy talks about, if I do this, I'm gonna search his page for Candace Owens. right? This guy's been on an absolute tear going off on Candace Owens. 29th, November 29th, 29th, November 28th, November 27th, November 27th, 26th, right? Oh yeah, I actually want to look at this one. I want to look at this. Remind me to look at this video. She's exposing the lefties. I mean, not exposing the lefties. She's exposing who? The Zionists, right? Preacher after preacher after preacher going after her. Huckabee. What's the name any Zionist, right? Levin. Shapiro. Name all the Zionists. They don't even have to be Christian Zionists. These are people who they can't even. And again, it's big money going after Candace Owens. It's big money to talk about her right now in the negative light. Whether you get clicks, views, likes, shekels, right? And if they just
I just want some money.
They just want that money, right? Cha-ching. It's profitable to talk about Candace Owens. It's profitable to talk about Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's one of the reasons why I've taken a break, because I don't want to profit off of that situation, right? Because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it for profit. That's why one of the largest videos that I've had, almost 400,000 views, not monetized because it was a Charlie Kirk video. I was like, I'm not going to monetize that. But if someone needs to do that, if that's their livelihood, this isn't my livelihood. So I can make that decision. Now let's listen into what's his Amanchukwa. John Amanchukwa. All right. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, Candace Owens has a podcast. That podcast is her revenue stream. Her sponsors want to pay her to post. I have no problem with it. I made the decision not to, but I don't look down on anyone else who does. It's their call whether or not they want to monetize. Okay? Yeah, but this guy has been on if you just look at it like Candace Owens, he has been on a tear, right? You just look at it. This is the 23rd, right? Still going. Let's see. When does he start? What is it? This is we're in November still. November 18th. Still. He's still talking about her, right? But these are Zionists, right? These are Zionist pastors who want you to believe that Israel is America's greatest ally, that the Jews are God's chosen people, that you cannot speak ill of them. And the crazy thing is, why is that a big deal? Why? Because Charlie was starting to shift on his views of Israel and his unwavering, uncritical support. Is that why? Right? Yeah, is that why? So let's look at this. Let's look at this video. Now Candace issued Candace yesterday issued a challenge. This was her pastor challenge yesterday. Tomorrow is Sunday. I challenge you to get through an entire sermon without mentioning me or Tucker Carlson. Now she's talking about the Zionist evangelical pastors that want to make sure that Israel comes out of this Charlie Kirk situation, or the assassination and the cover-up, because it really can only be described as a cover-up because they're not offering information. The FBI should be following every lead, right? Why are the Egyptians and the planes and everything else that's going on, why are they not following these leads? Why is it Tyler Robinson, case closed, we got him, nothing else to see here, right? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We don't believe the government. We don't believe the government. All right? We don't believe what you all are telling us, because apparently there were no Epstein files, and then there were. And then there weren't. And then there's a big fight over whether or not they should be released. And then, like, you either had the files or you don't, or there are files or there are no files. What is it? Are we still talking about Epstein? Right, because Epstein has connections to Mossad. Zionists do not want Israel to be implicated in PDF file rings or nefarious practices or blackmail rings. No, they want to keep their hands clean, right? Because these are God's chosen people. But the problem is God's chosen people choose Christ, right? And the Talmud says some very interesting things about our Lord. So Christians can't be Zionists. Sorry. Let's see. Here we go.
So contrary to what Candace Owens is saying, who's spending her time trying to tear down the legacy of Charlie Kirk, fighting against Erica Kirk, his wife. I mean, you have to be cruel and demonic to insinuate the things that she has insinuated over the past several weeks. She's evil. That's what it is. And a big hand clap goes there. Don't get shy on me tonight. I ain't the one. I came too far to play around.
Why you always lying?
It's evil. It's corrupt. It should not take place. She sounds like a jaded person who wish they were in the role that Charlie Kirk's wife is in, but she isn't. And so therefore she seeks to tear down his legacy. And at some point,
you can't make this
up. That podcast room and start unplugging cords. I mean, by now I would have already done it if it was my wife. I'm yanking cords. I'm shutting down the camera, shut down the ATEM. Sweetie, get up, get out of this room, and can you please help out with the kids? Because
you see all of these insinuations that he's now making, that Candace isn't taking care of her family because she's podcasting. Candace always talks about the fact that she had a rough day homeschooling her kids. If he actually listened to her podcast, many of these people don't listen. They make insinuations, then they accuse her of making insinuations while being hypocrites themselves. They're insinuating that she's a jealous ex and that she wants to be in the place that Erica's in. Because this is the type of stuff that sells. Again, if you want to talk about people who are trying to sell a narrative, it's the narrative that Candace is jealous of Erica and wants to be in a position that she's in. Either she wanted to be with Charlie and married to Charlie, even though Charlie was instrumental in her meeting her husband and was telling her to go for it with her husband. Or that she wants to be head of TPUSA. Why would she want to be head of TPUSA when she has her own podcast that is more popular than TPUSA's podcast? And now that she is a mother of, I think, 4 children, why would she want to be on the road constantly like Charlie Kirk was? I'm asking these questions because apparently these people have figured out Candace's motives and that she's demonic. Exposing these Zionists. Again, who is she exposing? First group is the Zionist, right? Because they actually have no argument. They're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to distract you because Israel has been guilty of numerous crimes. Netanyahu was about to be removed from office or brought under charges in his own nation, and then October 7th is prolonging his stay as prime minister. But we're not supposed to look at that. We're not supposed to pay attention to any of that, right? No. Yeah. And that's pretty much where like the Israeli government, I would substitute that with the Israeli government and not the Jews, but I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. And again, what do? They insinuate that she's a jealous ex. That's the easy target. That's the ad hominem attack. She wanted to be Charlie's. I've even heard people, I'm not going to say what they've said about her, but these are disgusting accusations, but I guess they feel like these are justified. Yeah. She has made 43 videos. We are still no closer to who did it. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, we shall see. But at least she's actually asking questions and trying to run down leads, unlike the Federal Bureau of Investigations or the Central Intelligence Agency, because their story makes absolutely no sense. And you admit by saying that we still don't know who actually did it. Because do you believe that Tyler Robinson did it? Yeah. Do you believe that Tyler Robinson did it and that he acted alone? That's the question, right? That's the question that everybody wants to ask. And the only person, well, there are several people who are asking the question in the main on podcast and the like, but the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And do you also believe that it was with a 30-06? Right? There you go. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I agree with that one. I agree with that one. You also believe that Charlie was ended with a 30-06 too? You should go look up 30-06 damage and see whether or not it matches up. Again, you can believe that Tyler Robinson did it, and we are free to not believe that. That's the beauty of America, the America that we still live in today. Before they start passing speech laws against Israel, right? We can't say anything against Israel, and then we lose our banking accounts, our access to until free speech goes away completely. Because Charlie was all about free speech, and the best way to honor him is to limit speech against Israel. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to try to pull. Oh man, you can't make this up. Oh, but so Candace is doing a great job of exposing these Zionists. Now the Zionists are actually coming out in full force, and they're telling us straight up. Lindsey Graham, Mike Huckabee, and the like. They're just telling us. Ted Cruz, all of them are essentially telling us that it is required for us to support Israel. Otherwise, we are not Christian, and otherwise, they won't stand with us. Right? Yeah. Well, talk to Kanye about that, about, speaking ill of a certain group and then losing banking privileges. It's a possibility. They threatening. Hello from Ireland. Hello. Yes. Now, so Candace is exposing Zionists. Now, this is exactly why I said, even as an unintended consequence, Candace is doing something amazing. Even if she never gets to the bottom of the assassination attempt on Charlie Kirk, or if we never find out whether or not Brigitte Macron is actually a biological male, what she's doing is shaking, like someone said, shaking the birdcage of the elites, and they are panicking, and they are going to do something that exposes their hand further. That's one of the things that we need. We need, because I'm about to tie something together, and y'all let me know whether or not y'all think it's hey, I just saw that. Cool. You just unsubscribe. No problem. All right. Oh, hey, let me turn. Thank you. You reminded me. I have to turn this on. Where is it? No. It's on. Okay, it's on. Yeah, it's on. Okay. Yes. All right. So one of the cool things we can do is pay attention to who is reacting to Candace and how these people respond. So what's happening now is that the people who once were champions of free speech, remember the rhinos, Republicans in name only, right? Free speech in name only groups, right? I'm going to go to number 4 first. Remember those people? Now they're actually promoting the same tactics that the left used for years to silence opposition to their party platform. If you want to know who's actually our enemy, it's the ones who do not want to have the discussion. If it's forbidden to talk about what a group is doing, then they probably have something to hide. See, transparency eliminates the necessity for the Candace Owens of the world. Candace wouldn't have the #1 podcast in the world if the FBI was transparent. If the FBI was transparent, Candace Owens wouldn't she would still be talking about Brigitte Macron. And that was starting to taper off. If the FBI was actually transparent, if they just say, well, here's all the information we have, here are the camera angles, here's everything we have for public consumption, Candace Owens' views would, and it's as simple as that. And then you wouldn't need, and this is what I'm going to talk about next, you wouldn't need the distractions, right? Because a lot of what's happened after Candace Owens' podcast and her 43 episodes about Charlie Kirk since his assassination has been, the government is now trying to divert our attention from it. You want to, this is why I think that. Now, I'm going to go to old Donald Trump. His Truth Social. Okay. There have been a lot of big things that have happened, right? Mainly around this topic. Immigration and nationality, right? Now, I voted for illegal immigration. I voted for mass deportations. If there are 20 million illegal immigrants in here, I want all 20 million of them gone. And if there are legal immigrants who came in and broken the law, like Ilhan Omar, I want them deported. I want all temporary protected status removed, and people groups who do not profit the United States of America and are not helping and have not assimilated, I want them out as well, because I want America to be for Americans and for people who want to assimilate to American culture. As simple as that. If you hate America, why are you here? I think that's a really easy question. I think if you have allegiance to another nation over America, you should not hold public office. You should quiet down, enjoy the fruits of America, keep yourself, like, if you don't cause any, right? Don't cause any problems. Don't break our laws, or you're going back. That's the stance that I voted for. Okay. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Aces, right? That's it. Okay. Now, I think that some false flags are being. I think that the enforcement of the Immigration and Nationalities Act, I think that, although it's something that we want, I think it's something that is now being ramped up because they got to get our gaze off of the Charlie Kirk assassination. I think that and look, if I am next, hey, here's what it is. If I'm gone, right? If America doesn't want me here, it is what it is. What am I going to do? Huh? You say I'm next. All right. If I'm next, I'm next. That doesn't scare me. It is what it is. Right? Like people say, oh, they're going to come after black people next. All right. You say so. I'm probably one of the last black people that's going to go, but you know, it's fine. If they come after us, they come after us. Get the other ones first. Exactly. That's the question, right? Why would they? Why would they? I'm a functioning member of this society. I have assimilated to American culture. I love this land. Why? Okay, if you want less of me, that's fine. I'm fine. Raising my children well, loving my wife, right? I'm good. If they want less of me, I'll go somewhere else. If they kick me out, I'm fine. I'll go somewhere else. And keep doing the same thing. Loving my wife, raising my children, right? I mean, if they literally come after me, if ICE comes after me, what I'm going to do? I'm going to fight ICE. Because somebody's going to die, probably me. But it is what it is. Now I'm going to fight for America. If you, my son's in the military, like we love this country. So I'm just keeping it real. Like I've assimilated and I'm fine with it. Right? You could clip this part. I have assimilated, right? Because I believe that's the only way that this country is going to maintain what it was, what it can be, and reach the heights that it can reach. It has to be based on Western tradition, Western values, Christianity. Simple as that. Now, if you don't want to, yeah, I know it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I give them a moment to have their little moment, you know, because that's the only thing they can do. I'm going to scare you. Oh goodness, we're going to scare you. So they're coming after you next. My family has been here for generations, right? So, yeah, if we're not going yet, it is what it is. Now, whenever this is President Trump, he's going after Ilhan Omar. He met with Mamdani and kind of neutered him. These are the things that are happening, right? We had the attack on the National Guardsmen. Prayers for their families. At this point, I look at it as all theater. The Afghan national had ties to the CIA and ties to the government. Of course. Why would we be surprised? We would be surprised if he didn't. At this point. This is where we are. We're not surprised anymore. How many times do we have to see the same thing happen over and over and over again before we start to realize, oh, you know, this is the playbook. This is the playbook. This is the playbook is for some sleeper cell or someone who has connections that the U.S. government is trained that they can use to incite violence. So we're afraid, and now they're saying, well, now we're going to take away more rights and more freedoms because you're afraid now. The Patriot Act. And again, this is not a leftist only. What's the word I'm looking for? Leftist only tactic. Bush did the same thing. This is an elitist tactic. The intelligentsia, they understand how to foment division. They understand how to play on our fears. COVID, whatever. Just name the thing. Name the thing. Now, I voted for Trump because the things that he ran on, I want to see happen. I want our borders closed. I want illegal immigrants deported en masse quickly. I want them to self-deport, and I want ICE to do its thing. But I don't want it to be done as a false flag. I want it done, period. But I don't want it done as a false flag because they want us to not pay attention to the fact that it could have been a possible military operation that ended Charlie Kirk's life. That there's a possibility that the French First Family put out a hit on a podcaster who is investigating. Right? There's another one. So the rhinos, she's exposing Zionists. She's exposing rhinos. She did her years exposing leftists. I just gave that as a throw in, right? Yeah, it's a throw in. She's exposing these folk as well, right? So remember, there was a big after Charlie's assassination. What happened? Oh, we're gonna go back to we're gonna get these Epstein files out. Oh no, right? Oh my. Now we're back on the Epstein files. After Trump said it, are we still talking about this? Well, yes, because you haven't released the files. And we want to see them. We want to know. So they release emails now. We want to know who Epstein was connected to. All right? Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I like a lot of the things that Donald Trump is doing. But I also think that he's compromised. If I'm being honest. I believe he's compromised because he has many Zionists in his ear. And I don't even know if I have no idea if they're threatening him. If he's just trying to play out the string of his last 3 years in office. I don't know. But I'm wary of his influence, or BB's influence over our government, over our social media, over our speech, selling TikTok to Israeli interests is not a good idea. BB saying on camera, well, we should talk to Elon. Elon's our friend. Elon's our friend. We should start policing speech on X. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts seeing in their algorithm more pro-Zionist propaganda. Which all that does is further the divide because people aren't stupid. We know your playbook. The Mark Levins, the Ben Shapiros, and the like. This is one of the reasons why, and I'm going to get to that. Someone asked me about what I think about Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is necessary. Why? Because I believe we are at war. This is an ideological, spiritual, political, whatever it is. Whatever you want to call it. We're at war for the soul of this great nation. And Nick Fuentes is necessary. You need a multitude of weapons. You can't have all tanks. You can't have all aircraft carriers. You can't have all fighter jets. You can't have all infantry. You need different types of weapons to wield in this spiritual war. Everyone is not going to be winsome and ironic. You need people that are polemic. You need people that are willing to say hard things. You have too many soft, effeminate men who call themselves leaders that aren't willing to say anything that would hurt anyone else's feelings. They walk the edge of, well, I want to make sure that I'm gospel centered in everything I say. And by gospel centered, they don't mean anything biblical. They mean they don't want to hurt any feelings. That's what they mean. They want kumbaya. That's what they want. And that's how we got into the situation we're in today. Now, what Candace has done a great job of is this group right here. This group, she has exposed them. They're now doubling and tripling down on the fact that if you do not support Israel, you're not a Christian, and they're not going to stand with you. She has exposed this group with her continued investigation of the Macron family. She keeps there's too many connections to this family of people who have the predilection for this type of behavior. She's exposed these people who once could hide underneath the rhinos, could hide underneath the cloak of free speech and American values. But now, no, they want to use the same tactics of the left to silence you so that you won't dig too deep into government corruption. She's been exposing these people for years. And then the black boule is just thrown in because they're leftists. Now, I want to talk about this third one right here. Yes, they do. I don't know if the whole nation does. But many people in the nation spit on, mock, yes, and mock Christians. Yes. Now, this last one, because I'm not going to be on here all night. This last one. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about Trump's administrative false flags. But essentially, and I'm going to tie this all in at what I think is happening. So Candace is probing and pushing. And she's obviously getting close to something because you can see the panic and the on brand messaging from every group that wants to destroy her. They twist her words. They insinuate things that she didn't say. But what they're doing now, they're exposing themselves. But what they're doing now is they're pointing our gaze to that direction. And unfortunately, Muslims are taking the cheese. They are a willing participant in this. Now, don't get me wrong. If I were president, there would be a ban on Islam in this country. I'm just 100% honest. There would be you couldn't worship Allah on American soil. Period, point blank. Because I don't believe the founders wanted that to be the case. I don't believe that the nation was, when we talk about religious pluralism, I don't believe that. I believe that it was Christian denominational pluralism is what the founders had in mind when they wrote the Constitution. Now, and the Declaration of Independence. Now I'm not going to debate that right now. But what Muslims are doing right now is not in their benefit. I'm going to show you what they're doing, which doesn't seem like a smart move right here. Okay. So in Times Square, a group of Muslim demonstrators made their intentions crystal clear. We will not stop until Islam enters every home. The clip is spreading fast and sparking major backlash. Footage of Times Square shows a group of Muslim activists making bold declaration. We will not stop until Islam enters every home. Wild moment, and it's blowing up online. Read the room. If you're a Muslim, read the room. It ain't the time, bruh. It ain't the time. This is not the time. You would actually do. It would be much smarter for you to go back to your old tactics of, by subversion, trying to, like they're doing in Dallas, all of these mosques popping up, right? Do your Dearborn thing, do your Minneapolis thing, but keep it quiet, because now eyes are on you. Now the American people are starting to become aware of your tactics, and it's not just we want immigrants from south of the border out. They're like, oh, y'all are next. Y'all are next. And you could hop to the front of the line, because, to be honest, immigrants coming here for jobs, to work low-skilled labor, are less of a threat than this. These men want an ideological shift in this country such that it becomes a completely different nation, one similar to the ones from which they fled. And so what are we supposed to do to this? You see Muslims in Texas, doing their little dance where they slapping their chest and praying in the middle of the street as a sign of dominance. And okay. And then telling in Dearborn, telling Christian pastors that they're not welcome. Okay. You don't have enough at the moment. This isn't England. We still have guns. See, we haven't given up our Second Amendment rights yet. If push comes to shove, you don't want to mess with the militants in the middle of America, or the vast majority of people in the South who they're at the ready. They're ready. Oh, really? Islam's going to enter my home? Oh, okay. Well, it's going to be somebody's not going to make it out alive. That's the plan. If that's the case, okay. And then you have Ilhan, right, doing her Ilhan thing. Where is it? Right. It's time for Trump. We've been asking for this for years. She supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. If that's true, she shouldn't be in Congress, and we should throw her the hell out of the country. Yes, finally. Now, this is a false flag, but this is something that we've been asking for. We've been saying, look, get these people out of here. They don't love America. They're using our resources, millions of dollars. They're scamming our system. And people are turning a blind eye to it. But we're supposed to think that they are the backbone. We're supposed to believe the lie that these type of people are the backbone of America. How? Make it make sense. That when they say stuff like that,
you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Because unless we are, and we're supposed to believe them, what? What are we supposed to do when we see this? Yeah. What are we supposed to, as Americans, say, oh no, that's American. Yay, they're American. Okay, no. Right? And so this is why Trump is ramping up his rhetoric about immigration. Yes. And I believe the flag of that assassin who took the lives of the two National Guardsmen. This is not, I don't think it's coincidental. When you see the pattern constantly, at some point you just have to say, okay, this is the pattern now. This is the pattern now. I guess and I think that Candace is the most valuable person, because she's exposing all of it. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, she may be. She's exposing all of them. She's now exposing Islam. Islam is openly there. Like, Muslims are now openly saying that they want to take over America. We want Islam to enter every home. The level of boldness that it takes for them to say that now, when they're not in the majority, something's being exposed. And again, we're in an ideological, spiritual battle, political battle, whatever you want to call it. I believe everything has roots in the spiritual, in spiritual warfare. But these people are all, I believe, Zionists are satanic. Obviously, PDF files are satanic. Islam, I believe, is satanic. Rhinos are liars, and Satan is the father of lies. Leftists, I mean, they're liars. They walk out the door breathing lies. And the Black Boule has been lying to black people for generations, where they have kept a great separation between themselves, the Black Boule, and poor people, poor black people, by speaking for them and keeping them under their thumb and using fear tactics to keep them underneath the heel or underneath the thumb of leftists. I'm still waiting for this prosperity that's supposed to come to black people through voting Democrat. I think that's going to come. Y'all let me know when y'all get it, when these reparations going to come through, right? Yeah. Right. Oh, I mean, look, I believe that most of these people, if they're talking, they're lying. Now, Trump is trying to do some of the things that he said he would do, but I just wonder if he's compromised. Yeah. I voted for him, so some of the stuff that he's doing, I really want to see him do. But yeah, I don't see what yeah. I don't see what the problem with releasing the Epstein files was. I don't see why it's taking them so long to realize that Islam is a problem, that it's incompatible with the West, and that it needs to be removed from the nation. If you want to practice Islam, practice it in an Islamic nation. There are a bunch of them. There are lots of them. Hold on one second. Let's see. Here you go. Look at this, y'all. Let's do this. All right, let's see. Countries, look at that. 57 of them. Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, American Samoa, Andorra, Angola. Look at this. You got a lot of places. Well, no, wait, let's see. I want the ones that are actually majority. No, I want the actual countries that are. Look at that. Whoa. 97%. Yeah. But yeah. I don't want Muslim majority countries. I want ones that are actually ruled by. But anyway, there are lots of them, right? You can do that there. I want America to be a Christian nation again. And yes, I say again, because all 13 colonies had requirements that you, in order to hold office there, you had to confess a belief in the triune God of the Bible. And they held those constitutions even after the Declaration of Independence. So America, the United States of America, is and should be a Christian nation again. It was founded on Christian principles, Western ideals. It is incompatible with any other ideology. It's incompatible. You can't. There will be conflict. You cannot. This idea of the melting pot. Even if you melt this stuff together, it's all going to congeal into something that's Very similar. So we don't you can't expect that a religion that is based on world domination, you can't expect to play nice with it, with your freedoms. They even say it there are many Islamic scholars that say that they're going to use America's freedoms against them. We can buy property here as, we can do things here that Christians in Islamic nations could never do. So let's use that to turn this into an Islamic nation. Yeah. We hate freedom. Okay, sure. If you say so. Saying it is not true. Yeah. Yep. You should check out what happens when you should check out what happens to nations when Islam takes over. Yeah. You should go Pakistan, Iran. See how much it's crazy because Christianity is the only religion that allowed and gave the parameters that where freedom is even a concept. But then they say conservative Christians don't like freedom. Okay. Again, you can say it. You can say a lot of stuff. Exactly. It's right there in front of them, right? Boat. It's right there in front of them. If they just want to do a little research, it doesn't take much. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to agree to disagree. It was in the each of the states' constitutions acknowledge Christ Jesus our Lord. The declaration ends with a prayer. I mean, yeah, we'll just agree to disagree. Yeah, cool. All right. They see when the name calling starts, you got them. There you go. Right. They use that juicy IQ to call names. Yes. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you? Yes. All right. So now, all right. Well, I said I'd be on here for about an hour. It is, yes, we got 3 minutes left. But I believe that Candace has done a great job of exposing these groups. All right. The Zionists, the PDF files. Let's take a look at the last few. Yeah, I want to make sure I got through everything. Ilhan and her brother. Trump and his, Trump and the Immigration Act. What did I cover everything? I want to make sure I get this rundown. Yes. So there's some things to chew on, right? The foreign-born share of the U.S. population is now higher than any other point in U.S. history. 1 in 6 people. Look at that. Higher than the great wave of immigration in the early 20th century. It's now time for another period of restricted immigration. Look at that. 1 in 6. Wow. 1 in 6. That's crazy. That's not good. The Great Replacement. And look, I'm gonna finish with something else that's really gonna burn people's bridges. But stick around with me for like 1 more minute. All right. So Trump's this is Jack. These are the guys from TPUSA. Trump's moratorium on third world immigration will be his most popular policy to date. He's even talking about abolishing the IRS now. Well, you speaking my language now. Oh goodness, you speaking my language. Yeah, but again, I still want to know who killed Charlie Kirk, and I don't believe it was Tyler Robinson. So you can give me all the stuff I voted for, but that's not going to change my focus. Because a lot of evil and nefarious, clandestine, whatever adjective you want to use, have happened since you were elected president. They don't add up. And we want to know. All right? Want to know. Okay? So then he's getting rid of the auto pen, right? Oh, all the auto pen stuff, right? Going back to, it's always good to go after Joe, right? That's good, Donald. All right. Get rid of him. Okay. Then he had his Thanksgiving, post, right? He talked about Tim Walz, went off on him, but talking about how we've been milked for the taxpayers have been milked of our money, right? And again, guys, I don't mind if you troll. I mean, that just shows your lack of creativity. If creative trolls, I will post up here, right? If you troll creatively, if you bring something to the table that's interesting, if you're just a name caller and like a kindergartner, I mean, that's fine. You can call names. It is what it is, right? So yes, Ilhan Omar did marry her brother. Yes, she should be denaturalized and deported. I keep saying that. Denaturalize and deport every person that was given protected status from Somalia and their descendants. Send them back. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If they want, especially if they've committed crimes and laundered money and milked our system and scammed our system, why would we want them here? This is insane. Why is it? The fact that this is even in question is a testament to how far we've fallen as a nation. When someone coming here and scamming millions of dollars, lying and milking the taxpayers, noticing it is the problem. But this is a common tactic of the left. This is a common tactic. Like, it happens in the black community. It happens in the leftist community. Noticing things is the problem. If you notice it, you're a malcontent. People could be doing the most stupid, ineffective things, constantly stealing, lying, cheating, wasting time, wasting money, wasting resources, wasting ability. Getting fat, lazy, disgusting, sexually immoral, all of these sins, everything. You notice it, then you're the problem. Right? Then it's
How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you notice? Right? How dare you, who's not doing this stuff, how dare you notice? It's like noticing this. Right? When it's going off in the background. Right? Right? No, I think you, Ashe Rose, but I let the trolls troll. Let them do their thing. As long as they don't spam. Once they start spamming, then I'll do something. Now, I didn't ask any of my moderators to be here, so I don't have a problem. It's like, there's so many people, it's like, let them do what they do. Right? Let them do what they do. Because if they want to come in and troll, I tell them at the beginning, trolls are welcome. Right? Trolls are welcome. And if you notice, so let me get back to that. If you notice and you say something about it, you're the problem. Right? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. I get bow ties as gifts from my students. Right? Yes. Right? Yeah. That's it. Like, I want people to, that if nothing else could be said about me, you just hit the nail on the head. I don't know how you figured it out that quickly. I'm concerned about doing what is right. I don't care about friendships. I don't care about relationships. I don't care about family. I don't care about anything other than, is this what is right? If it's what's right, I will lose family, friends, relationships, whatever. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I have to stand before God and say, okay, did I stand for what was right? Did I? If I didn't, woe is me, right? Because I've got to give an account for it. I knew the right thing to do and I did not do it, right? This scripture here, right here, constrains me. I can't go to sleep at night. I can't go to sleep at night. Yes, I'm using an ad blocker, Bible Hub, I know. I can't go to sleep at night if. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it For him, it is sin. I just finished memorizing the book of James earlier this month. I memorize one book of the Bible every year at the end of the year. James was my chosen book this year. And I have to say these words every day for about 200 days. So I'm still in the process of reciting it 100 times straight. And when you say these words over and over and over again, they become lodged into your brain. Like the Bible says, thy word have I hidden in my heart that I might not sin against me. Well, when you memorize God's word, it stays in there. So I say these words every day. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him, it is sin. So I have to wrestle with this every day. If I know what's right and I don't do it, there's sin. So, yeah. Right. So like this, these two, right? The top 5 most murderous counties are in red states. Most murderous states are red states, right? Now, if you dive deeper into the data, you know that it's the blue cities that are causing that. But he's a liar. This is called lie by omission. Right? Yeah. So, right? So you don't like man-made stuff? You reject all man-made stuff? It seems an impossible standard. Because the language that you're using is man-made. That's not a good argument. No, I won't Google it. Because I've already seen the data. I know your ilk. You're a liar. This isn't my first day on the internet. It's not my first day on the internet, right? Now, let's see what else we got. Let's finish. If you want, you have a channel. Yes, you should start your own channel and post it yourself. Right.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Oh. Now, so we went over that. What else did we do? We did that. Yeah, the pastor challenge. All right, yeah, Ilhan marrying her brother. I want to make sure I did everything. And then I'm going to, okay. So she's talking about we're reaching new levels of Zionist tears. Do famous people even like you, right? So, some of the members of PBD podcast don't like Candace. All right. And then, okay. So let me do this and then we'll be done. We'll be done. Okay. We'll be done. All right. Now, this is what I believe needs to happen. And someone asked me about Nick Fuentes, and I was about to go into a little bit more detail about him, but I'm going to use him as an example. Nick Fuentes, I believe. I don't believe everything Nick Fuentes says. I don't follow his content. I don't watch his show because I'm not his target audience. Okay. No. But I believe he's necessary. Why? Because I believe for the past maybe 30 to 40 years, white men have been emasculated. Now, don't get me wrong, black men too. I think men in general, because of feminism, because of indoctrination into homosexuality, into pornography, all of these things have emasculated and softened men to the point where the country is in the process of being overrun by groups that are willing to go to battle. The thing that I think needs to happen for America to survive is white men need to wake up and fight. There are still more of you here. And what do I mean by fight? Do I mean that they need, if it means coming to arms, if that's the case, okay. But what I'm saying is stop laying down and allowing feminists, corn, Zionists, and the like, leftists, to make you afraid. If someone calls you a racist for disagreeing with black people, tell them, who cares? You've got to get to the point where you don't accept criticism from any and every person. I learned this a long time ago. There are some people whose opinion I don't care about. I don't respect them. So they can say an untold amount of things about me, and it doesn't matter because I don't respect them. White American men need to adopt the same tactics because they're weaponizing words to make you back down so that they can take over. White men built the country. White men will save the country. It's as simple as that. There aren't enough of me to save the country. I'm 6% of the population. I'm a part of the 6%. And the vast majority of that 6% don't think the way that I think. So you got to get married. Like Charlie said, get married, start a family, stop watching corn. Don't marry a feminist. Don't marry a leftist. Control your eggplant. Have lots of children. Raise them as Christians. And then fight to keep America great. One group. One group. There's one group. Now, I'm encouraged by what I see from the group, but it's going to be you all. Now, I'm here to support. I'm going to do my part. But I promise you, it's going to be them. It's going to be white males. Now, it's as easy. Yeah, it's easy for me to say. But when the system is set up for you not to do those things, the system is set up for you not to be able to buy a house. The system is set up for you not to be able to raise a family on a single income. The system is set up for you to fail. It becomes harder. But there never has been a time in history where the thing that was easy was the thing that was necessary. The thing that is easy is always, it's just like, yeah, we can just, it's been easy to allow this to happen. It's easy to just watch corn and get, follow OnlyFans girls or doom scroll or not read, not study, not improve yourself, not build skills, not save money, not get married, not have kids, not raise those kids in the fear and admonition of the Lord. That stuff is easy. We've been granted a 4-year reprieve from the leftist onslaught. Now, again, government is still government and it's still going to government. But you have about a 4-year window to build up your skills, to get married, to join a church, to be a part of and not one of these Zionist evangelical namby-pamby pie in the sky, Jesus is barely mentioned, scripture is barely read churches. Not one of those. Don't join one of those. I'm telling you, don't do it. You'll be wasting your time because they're not going to help you to do the types of things that I'm talking about. They're more interested in appeasing the feminists and keeping the music set up for softness and the music that you sing and all these other things. They actually massage into your soul and start to make you become more effeminate. It's all in there, right? Now, don't join one of those churches. Join a church with men who have churches where men have actually raised families and love their wives and are married for 30 and 40, 50 years. Like almost every month to month or so, we're hearing about a person. Whenever our pastor says any anniversaries, we have somebody raise their hands. We've been married for 35 years, 45 years, 50. We had one couple that was married longer than I've been alive, multiple times since we've been there. So you need to find a church like that where people will help you to navigate this life. Find a church with some old people in it too, right? Yeah. So now that was the main thing I wanted to point out at the end. Okay. Because I knew that was going to ruffle some feathers, right? The feathers will be ruffled when I talk about the fact that it's going to be up to white men to save the country. I got your back. I'll do what I can with my, little growing podcast when I actually get on here and build, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then make sure that those terms are well defined, because every church uses those words now. You got to be careful about buzzwords. I'm just being honest about that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's wrong. What I'm saying is make sure that what they mean by gospel centered or Holy Spirit empowered, Bible centered or whatever, that they're actually walking it out, right? Because you have a lot of churches that use those words, and they're none of that, right? Yeah. I'm almost 50. So yeah, I'm almost 50. Yeah. And I think part of it, look, if you can find some boomers that admit their fault in where we are today and are willing to help you to try to, navigate the problems, right? Yeah, there's so many things. I mean, again, for young men, I've heard it from multiple young men. They say, man, I feel like it's hopeless. And they're part of churches that aren't giving them much hope. I'm not going to go into what people tell me behind closed doors, because that's all on. Yeah. Unlike some people, I actually keep private things private, right? I like to keep the private things private, right? So, right, exactly. Ashe Rose is in here spitting. She's spitting, right? She's spitting. That's it. She's spitting. Y'all, look, I'm just going to post her stuff real quick. Yeah. Just going to post it. She's spitting here. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. I tell people to stop, to stop watching that stuff. I mean, it will rot your brain. And I'm speaking from experience, right? I used to be addicted to it. So I'm not sitting here from some high horse telling you that, oh, I never watched it and I don't know anything about that. I struggled with it too. By the grace of God, have been freed from that for years. And so I understand what it does to you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And it ravages everything. You think that it's done in secret, but you can't get away from this. And it's always on your mind. And it's always, it has a hold on you. You think that you're mastering it, and it has mastered you. Right. So, yeah. Yeah. He said Christianity is dying out. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, man. People have been saying that for years. Yeah. Oh, I'm 3/5. Oh, man. 60%. That's good. That's good. Sometimes I think I'm less than that. I want to be a better man. I don't even know if I'm operating at 60%. Sometimes I don't think I am. Yeah. I think I could do a lot more. And I'm saying that as like I develop software every day. I have 50 plus music students. I run this podcast. When I'm doing it, I get a lot of, when I'm actually posting, it was growing. It had grown by double but I just got to be more consistent in posting. I'm also planning out my music channel schedule for the next year. I've got some, yeah. I don't even think, but I think I'm still operating at about 40% capacity. I could do a lot better with the time that I have. And I'm reading like 3 books right now. Like I bought this book last year, and it may not be that, it may not, but I bought Atlas Shrugged, and what was the other one? Her other book. I'm reading this one along with a couple of other books. And then, I'm operating at about maybe 40%, 2/5. I'm 2/5 of a man. See how I just turned what he said into? Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, yes. Much better, right? Look, I was actually going to mess with y'all today, but I might do a Christmas sing-along. Hold on one second. I was gonna mess with y'all today because I was messing around with a with some revamped Christmas tunes. Right. Where's that one? I was gonna mess with y'all today, but I said, I'll wait on it till later on in the season, right? Have yourself a Candace Owens Christmas. Make sure it's not fake or gay. See, I was gonna mess because that's her thing now. She said everything's fake, everything's gay, right? But oh boy, yeah. Anyway, but yes. But nah, that's I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do something later on and do a Christmas hymn sing or something like that. Yes. Well, anyway, I'm about to. I know. I have too much fun sometimes. I know. I have too much fun sometimes. Yeah. Ah, boy. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. All right. And I want to thank everybody that has tuned in. Let me get to the closeout screen. Appreciate you all. Yes. Oh yeah. The trolls stay. I let them stay. I let them stay because I think it's a good thing. They don't realize it. They have made me a lot of money on my channel over the past, since maybe this year, 2025. Yeah, it was right around, let's do this, right around June when I started to take, I had 7,000 subscribers. And then within June to September, I went up to 15,000. And that was mainly because of the trolls. Right. So yeah, we have a lot. Yeah. Oh, no, I haven't made much today. Yeah. Oh, they think I'm talking about today. No, guys, I'm talking about in the past. I'm talking about from June to September. Right. Yeah, I haven't been doing that much podcast. If you pay attention, I haven't posted a video in almost a month. Yeah. I haven't posted a video in about a month. I'm trying to be more. But again, I told you all that when my kids have musical performances, we are focused on them growing as musicians. And I'm a dad first. So if I have rehearsals to bring them to, if we have performances to bring them to, then that takes precedence over podcasting. I have an actual life. I have 5 kids. 4 of them still live with us. So they just had a recent performance. They have another performance coming up in a week. Actually, 2 more. One coming up in a week and one coming up in 2 weeks. So again, yeah. So that's my most important thing. Now, this podcast does not make enough money for me to put anything else to the side for it. I make really good money as a software engineer, and I make really good money as a music teacher. So unless this starts to take like, you know, a bigger piece of the pie, then I'm not giving up my kids for this. It's called being a Christian father. Sue me, right? So anyway, yes, that's cool. Yeah. She said, she said, you shouldn't be allowed to be around kids ever. That was my genuine reaction when I saw that pop up to the right, Ashe Rose. Yes. The Lord has blessed me with children and with some very respectful, honorable children. They, many people say that they're like very, They really are impressed with our kids and what they're doing. Like, we've got PhD, musicians, multiple PhD musicians, and, heads of orchestras and composers that are really impressed with what we've been able to accomplish with our children and what their future looks like, how bright it is. And so we want to keep pouring into them as much as we can, buying instruments, paying for lessons, bringing them. My wife and I have a wife. I have a whole wife, like she's a whole human being. Yes, I couldn't make the kids without her. She was critical to the creation and to the maintenance of this home. Yes. I praise her in the gates because she is worthy. Yes, that's what Proverbs tells me to do. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you. Yes. Thank you. So, everybody, all right? Yes. Now, I'm about to head out. I was on here for 30 more minutes than I anticipated. Until next time, be on the alert. Wait, thank you to everybody that liked. It's been a while. Thank you to everybody that liked, commented, subscribed. Thank you to the trolls. Thank you to the supporters. Thank you to everyone, all the new subscribers. I appreciate you all for staying with me always. Keep this in mind, right? This is something that's very, very important.
That's racist!
Everything that every person says that you don't like, you just tell them
That's racist!
that's racist. But the real thing I want y'all to remember is to be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. That's 1 Corinthians 16:13, just so you all, for those that don't know. All right, see y'all around. Bye.